until we started ShiSho, we've never really been a musical family. All we had was a pair of bongos and a didgeridoo.
Being in a band is not just showing up and doing your thing on stage. It's all those pieces of preparation.
My family has always been a family that enjoyed going to live shows and that enjoyed music.
When Vivian said she wanted to start a band at 8, we felt like, why not? We felt like, absolutely, you should pursue your dreams at any age. You shouldn't have to wait until you're a teenager or until you're a grown-up to start doing what your passion is and what you really want to do in life.
I've been in the band for about 5 years, and I started when I was 4, and I'm 10 right now. My favorite part of the band is definitely playing live. It's a lot of fun.
When the crowd reacts in like a really positive way, like that's really like, it helps a lot to like motivate me.
I think it gives a young woman a lot of confidence to be able to get up in front of people and to sing and to express your feelings and your thoughts through song.
You can write songs about like anything, so it's kind of like a lot of freedom in that.
I balance school and musical talents. It's kind of easy for me because I don't have all the drama as my sister.
My parents always tell me, they're always like, well, you can be in the band, but you have to do your schoolwork first. Like, schoolwork is always first.
These are skills that are going to benefit them for the rest of their lives.
I don't know how long the band is going to last, probably until we either get tired of it or schoolwork kind of gets in the way. I mean, I'll be going into high school next year, so that's definitely going to put a lot more pressure on me.
And I feel as though if ShiSho has a time and a place, and then it ceases to be, it will be a beautiful memory, I think, and experiences for each of them.
Welcome to Moving Forward. I'm your host, Amanda Abraham. Now, as you just saw, balancing school and being involved in a band is a task the ShiSho girls have mastered. Now, the girls are truly following their dreams, and no matter their age, they know the way to focus on their goals and ambitions. Now, we're excited to have them in studio today. Thank you for being here, both Vivian and Midge.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having us. We're very excited.
Tell us a little about how you guys started this band and why you wanted to be in band.
Well, my family had always been really interested in music. Like, I was going to shows before I was even born. Like, my parents had always gone to shows, so it was a big part of my life. And when I was about, I don't know, I was like 6 or 7. I don't know, you were like 3 or 4, something like that. But we, like, I don't know, we were just out on the trampoline, and I was like, hey, Dad, I want to be in a band when I'm older. And he was like, when you're older, why don't you just do it now? And I was like, well, why don't I just do it now? So, he called up his friend who was a musician, and we were just like in the band. So we sang, and he did the music, and that's how ShiSho kind of started. But it all started because my family was like really, really involved in music. Like, we loved music, so.
Well, Midge, how did you want to start out being in this band? I mean, you were younger, so how did you kind of incorporate yourself into everything?
Well, I was more of like the funny one, the energetic one, so it was kind of fit into my age group, so it was just a lot of fun.
Vivian, how did you get started with everything, you and the band, and kind of, did you guys have a studio in your house, or did you have to build one?
We didn't actually own any instruments other than a didgeridoo and I think a pair of bongos. We might have had a pair of bongos, but yeah, so we went from that. And then when I expressed an interest in being in a band and making music, that's when my parents were like, all right, we're gonna support you in this. And so then we went out and we got our first guitar, and then we just started like accumulating things, and now we have like this mass collection of just like banjos, guitars, and I think we have a mandolin and drums and like keyboards and just like everything. So we just kind of built the studio from having nothing to like having a lot of stuff just from us kind of expressing an interest. So.
Did you start by covering songs, or did you start originally making new songs?
We started with covering. Do you remember the first cover we did?
We did Punk Rock Boy.
Yeah, there was a song by a band, the Dead Milkmen, who was like our favorite band ever, and they did this song called Punk Rock Girl, and we made it Punk Rock Boy, and we covered it. So that was our first song that we did, and then we started, after we covered like 2 or 3 songs, then we're like, all right, it's time to start writing some original stuff. So that's when we started doing that.
Well, tell us about the original songs. How do you kind of come up with them, and your creative skills? How did that come into play?
Well, we'd always been really creative. Like, she was always drawing pictures, I was always drawing pictures. And when we lived in Columbus is when we started the band, and we had family up in Akron. So on our car rides is when we'd, like, as a family, we'd just all write songs and stuff. So we'd, like, be in the car and we'd be like, hey, wouldn't this be a cool idea for a song? And they'd be like, yeah, so how would we make that work? And then we'd, like, just kind of write songs in the car. Some of my fondest memories are doing that. But, and just recently I've kind of started taking off on my own and writing songs on my own. So that's kind of fun for me.
Yeah. Well, you guys were talking about balancing school and being in the band. How does music play into school? Do you do any songs at school?
Yeah, actually, in social studies of all classes, I've found opportunities to do like 2 songs in replace of oral reports. So I just go in, I write a song about whatever we're learning about, and instead of doing an oral report, I just play my song. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys go out to shows, or does your parents book shows for you? How does that go about?
When we're booking shows for ourselves, like my dad will usually like take us out. If we're like, hey, I want to play there, then he'll be like, all right, well, let's go talk to him, and he'll like take us all in the car, and we'll just go and talk to them about it. Sometimes, like at festivals and things, they'll ask us to play, so they'll like find out about us just through, I don't know, through different places that we have played at and stuff. But we go to other band shows like all the time. Like Musica here in Akron, we are like regulars there, and like so like I said, our parents have always been really big into going to shows, and that's kind of like come into our life too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you have some sort of musical inspirations or some people that you kind of look after and want to be like?
Well, Weird Al Yankovic and the Beatles, and They Might Be Giants, and Super Cute, and the Trachtenberg family slideshow players, and I think there are a few more.
Yeah, in our basement actually we have our wall of inspiration where we put up pictures of all the different bands that have inspired us. And like Midge said, we have the Beatles, Weird Al, we have Devo is another big one because they started out in Akron and they just got huge. So
yeah.
They're probably one of our main inspirations. So.
Have any of your songs been played on the radio?
Yeah,
okay.
There's this one community radio station in Canton. It's Radio Free Canton. And so he really took a liking to us, and he's played, we used to do a podcast too called ShiSho A Go-Go. Oh. So we produced 10 episodes, and he would play them on there. But as far as our music goes, he'd play our music too. And then also in Cleveland, there was this one radio station, WCSB, and they would play us like all the time. We were one of their favorites. And then also we were on a European record label, so
wow.
Yeah, I guess they told us that on BBC One there was this guy Hugh Stevens who really liked us, and so he'd play us. So.
Wow, how did that come about? I mean, how did they even discover you?
We are unsure how they discovered us, but it was Christmas Eve it was a long time ago, but it was Christmas Eve a while ago, and they were like, hey, we really like your music. Would you want to be on this compilation with us? So Filthy Little Angels, that's when we started being on their label, and they're from Nelson, England.
Are you still on their label currently?
They actually sadly just had to close their doors, I guess.
Okay.
But we were on their label, and we did a lot of compilations with them. So
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. How does it feel to be recognized?
It's a great feeling because when you're putting a lot of effort and when you're putting a lot of work into making music and stuff, it's great to be recognized. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Now I know you guys have, I think, Magnetic Bunny Records. Is that what it is? Tell us a little about how that started and what it exactly is.
Well, in 2007, we decided that it would be cool to start our own record label called Magnetic Bunny. She came up with the name.
Yeah.
So we thought that would be a really great thing for us, and we wanted to do it because we wanted to support and recognize other kid bands in the area, or not only in the area, but like everywhere. So we put out a compilation called Magnetic Bunny's Seaside Summer Compilation. It's a mouthful. But, and we had 12 kid bands from all around the world. Wow. So we had some from Australia, some from England, and a bunch from all across the US. And it was just the idea of we want to, support other kid bands. Mm-hmm. So that's how that all got started.
What are some accomplishments that you're really proud of throughout this journey that you've taken?
With the band?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, being played on the radio, that was definitely, like, that was really cool. Being on the different, being on Filthy Little Angels, that was definitely great. Like, whenever we're asked to play places, like, that's always great. Like, we were asked to play at the Toledo Indie Pop Fest one year and stuff. So, other accomplishments, yeah.
American singer, songwriter Kimya Dawson, right? Now she reached out to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about how that happened.
Yeah, I can't believe I actually yeah. But that was actually really awesome. She'd heard our song, It's Coming to Get You, the Evil Clown song, which was the second original song I'd ever written, and she heard it and she loved it. So she contacted us, she was like, oh, I love the song that you did, I'd love to do a project with you, blah, 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 and that was just fantastic because she's one of our biggest inspirations. Like, we just love her. So we were like, well, that was at the time that we were working on the Soapbox Derby project for Corbin, and we were like, well, why don't you help us with that? So she got on board with us for a while to help us with that, but then she got asked to play with, like, go on tour with the band Defiance, Ohio. So she couldn't help us finish that. But it was great that she expressed an interest and got in touch with us. So we're hoping to do a project with her.
Very cool. Now, you just mentioned that that Soapbox Derby, I think it's a movie, 25 Hill. Now, you guys were involved in that?
Well, we went and we were extras in the movie, and we thought, well, because he was trying to use a lot of local talent. That's one of the things that Corbin's great at, is like helping to build community, helping to bring in local talent for his movies. So we thought, well, why don't we just like talk to him about maybe like being in the movie, doing some songs for the movie. So we went and talked to him directly, and he got us in touch with his assistant and said that he'd like us to submit some songs for consideration. So we wrote and recorded 3 different songs for him to listen to. So.
How does that feel to actually, the director, Corbin Brenson, to actually do that for you?
It's great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing because, I mean, we're just like 2 kids, so to be recognized at that level is just fantastic. It's great.
How do your friends kind of deal with you after, being in the band and seeing you guys perform?
I don't get treated any differently, like, I don't usually tell people that I'm in a band. My friends didn't know until really recently when they came to one of my shows. I don't know, I don't really broadcast it everywhere. I'm just like, yeah, I'm in a band here, but I go to school here, so I just kind of keep the world separate sometimes.
No, very cool. Well, we're going to learn a lot more about you and a few more questions about some upcoming things that you guys have going on. So we're really excited. We're actually going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
For you. Hey, Mom.
Girls, I used to cheer back in my day. Ready? Okay! Go team!
That was amazing. Mom, that was amazing.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.